Ian Lees-Galloway.
Thank you very much, Mr Speaker. I would like to start my contribution today by congratulating the workers at the distribution centre at Cotton On, who today concluded bargaining with their employer, the Australian retail giant Cotton On, who tried to take away their tea breaks. And, sir, what those workers did is they stood up against that, the public stood up against that, and the public said, no way, we don't like the idea that those workers should lose their tea breaks. And so not only were the rest and meal breaks reinstated in their collective agreement, but they also got a significant pay rise and they've got a redundancy clause included in their collective agreement. That, sir, tells us a few things. One, it's good to be a member of a union. It's good to join a union, because joining a union makes sure you get far better terms and conditions than what that government would wish you to have in your collective agreement. Secondly, in the age of social media, I say to employers who actually want to make use of the changes to the laws, the employment laws that this government brought in, be very careful, because the people don't like them. The people of New Zealand do not like the laws that were brought in. They don't like the idea of workers having their rights taken away from them. And if you are an employer whose business is vulnerable to public opinion, then you will very quickly feel the wrath of the people of New Zealand. And thirdly, sir, it's important to know that union membership makes a big difference in the public opinion. So because the government was completely out of touch with the people of New Zealand when they took away their right to a tea break in legislation. And we know that this government is completely out of touch because of that result up in Northland. They went from a 9,000 vote majority to a 4,000 vote loss in the space of 6 months. It is the most phenomenal turnaround, and that's because that government over there does not pay enough attention to the regions. So if you look around the country, regions like Gisborne, Hawke's Bay, sadly enough, Manawatu, Wanganui, Wellington, Tasman, Nelson, Marlborough, West Coast, all have fewer jobs today than when this government came into office. After 7 years of national government, in my region and regions like it around the country, there are fewer jobs today than when National came into office. In my region, in Manawatu, Wanganui, and also in Taranaki and Wellington, Tasman, Nelson, Marlborough, West Coast, Otago, they all have over 50% more people unemployed than when this government came to office 7 years ago. Those regions, and including, sadly, mine, has unemployment rates of over 6% after 7 years of this national government. Sir, regions like us and the Chatham Islands and Gisborne and Taranaki and the West Coast are all receiving less government funding for roading today than when this national government first took office 7 years ago. This government takes the regions for granted. It expects regional New Zealand to vote for it, but doesn't actually do anything to improve the economies in those regions. And the sad thing is, sir, that there is massive potential, there is massive opportunity in every single one of those regions. And I appreciate that this government has embarked on a project to identify what those opportunities are, although if they just came and asked, we'd be able to tell them. But what are they actually doing to help us harness those opportunities, make the most of them, get people working, get people off the benefit, and make our regions productive again? Nothing, sir. And the most useful thing that the National MPs in my part of the country, Ian McKelvey and Nathan Guy, could do would be to resign. Resign today, let's have a by-election, and let's maybe, I'll tell you what, the Capital Connection, Simon Bridges would find the money for the Capital Connection in a heartbeat. If there was, John O'Naylor would have somewhere to stand. John O'Naylor could go and stand in the Rangatiki. He might have a chance in the Rangatiki, and they might just fund the Capital Connection if they had a by-election in the Rangatiki or in Otaki, sir. That's how we could get the National Party to pay attention to our region and to regions like us, sir, because it is a sad story of underinvestment, missed opportunities, Missed opportunities by this government that knows there is potential in the regions, but they take the regions for granted. And hopefully the message that they take from Northland is the two-speed economy has got to come to an end. Pay attention to the regions, National.
The time for this debate has concluded. We now come to private and local orders of the day. Call on private and local order of the day number 1.